Guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays. Today I'm going to show off my collection of director P.T. Anderson's Blu-ray DVDs, and I have one Laserdisc to show. So let's start off with that one Laserdisc. It's 1998, I believe it was released, or 90. I think it came out in 99. This is the Boogie Nights. The Boogie Nights Criterion Collection. Spine number 366. And the orange and brown color scheme is really unmistakable. It's hard to miss that one. There's the back. And, pretty cool, it opens up. Which, when this came out on DVD, I believe it came out in 2000, 2001. Let me check. I have the information here. I have the tendency to sometimes say 2000. Came out in 2000. So a year later, it came out on DVD, but not from Criterion Collection. It came out from New Line Cinema, which Columbia TriStar, or actually it's just New Line Cinema released it, which is almost identical to the Criterion case. It has all the same artwork. When you open it up, it's just like the gatefold of the Laserdisc. But yeah, super cool. I had this for years and years. Got this way back when it came out. And just recently, probably 2 years ago, I guess that's recent, I got the Criterion Laserdisc because it was one of my Laserdiscs that I was always wanted. And it was hard to track down. It was kind of expensive, so I waited and waited to find one that was a very, reasonable price one to get, and I bought it. So, enough of Boogie Nights. Let's go on to, this was P.T. Anderson's first movie, The Hard Eight, or actually just Hard Eight, starring Philip Baker Hall, John C. Reilly, Gwyneth Paltrow, and it has a small part by Samuel L. Jackson. Philip Baker Hall's performance is really good. The whole cast is good, but he's pretty exceptional. He shines on this one. So this was made in 96. It's kind of reflecting, but yeah, it's a very good movie. If you can find it on DVD and Blu-ray, which I had a hard time finding it. I rented it a long time ago in the early 2000s. Loved it. And I could never find it, when I wanted to try to buy it to, get all of P.T. Anderson's movies over the years, which started, 20 years ago getting these. So it was kind of hard to find. I finally got one. His next movie is Magnolia, which has this really cool cover, which has a slipcase, which shows the Magnolia gets a little bit bigger. You open it up, and then it's got pictures from the actors in the movie. Little flip out case. Of course, you got your proof of purchases, which I never understood what those were for, but pretty good artwork. Really awesome movie. It's a really cool movie. To watch every so often. It's a little longer. I think it's like 200 minutes or something. Let me see exactly how long it is, because I always think it's long, but like when I start watching it, it's not that long, I guess. But I believe it's 2.5, almost 3 hours long. So anyways, moving on. Punchdrunk Love. It's the next movie starring Adam Sandler, and Emily Watson. When this came out, this was really kind of interesting. Made news that Adam Sandler was doing a serious part, and I believe this was 2002, 2003, 2002. So this is and I've had this ever since then. So it's stayed with me for many years. It's got this white case. It's got a little booklet. It's got some chapter scenes. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got some junk on there. I don't know where that came from. Recently, within the last year or so, Criterion released it on Blu-ray. Okay, it did come out in 2002. This is the Blu-ray edition. Just a new transfer supervised by Paul Thomas Anderson. And I hope that's not reflecting, but yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting movie. Adam Sandler's performance and stuff, if you're a big fan back then, and I think it shook or shocked some people because they were expecting Adam Sandler to be Adam Sandler, and he wasn't. He was a complete different character, but I mean, we're used to him now being more dramatic, doing dramatic parts and stuff. Recently, Uncut Gems was a very good dramatic role for him. But yeah, it's a movie that, I mean, some people might take a few viewings of it to really get it, but it's a good movie. It took me maybe the second or third time till I kind of got in it. You got to get in its groove. It's got a certain kind of groove. And I'm not saying it's slow or boring or anything, but it's got a kind of a groove. And once you get in it, you're with it. So now when I watch it, I get right in it, So, anyways, next up, one of my favorite movies, There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis's phenomenal performance as Daniel Plainview, a guy obsessed with money and the oil he finds and the way he treats his son and the other characters in the movie. Some bad characters in this movie, characters that you would perceive as good but end up being bad people. So I could say a lot about this movie. It's great. I remember seeing it when it came out in the cinema, and I went and watched it, and it blew me away. And then it came out later on, and I believe I got the DVD of it first, and then I got this. Went and got the Blu-ray. It doesn't really have a lot of packaging stuff. It's got a few. It's actually the only thing extra on it is a short documentary about petroleum from 1923. So, hoping one day that Criterion collection or something will put something out remastered and with some bonus stuff and some footage and interviews and stuff, because that would be great, because I love that movie. I know there's a lot of people that has its fans. Now, next up is the movie called The Master. Now, this is a movie that stars Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is one of my favorite actors. He was in Boogie Nights also. And Amy Adams. And this is a great movie. I mean, it's very interesting. It catches you off guard. And Joaquin Phoenix's role is just he does such a crazy role. He just really gets into the character. I mean, I guess if you've seen him in how he got into the character for Joker and some other movies, I mean, he totally got into this guy. Let's see, he plays a guy named Freddie Quill, who just got out of the Navy during World War II. This is afterwards, and he just can't seem to keep a job. He doesn't really get on well with people. He drinks a lot until he meets this guy, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's kind of like a Scientology type person. He's like the guy that Dianetics, L. Ron Hubbard type of person, has this weird type of religion, constantly running from law and just hiding out, taking people's money, and like Scientologists do. But yeah, it's a very interesting movie. Very good performances, well, good direction. It's another movie that for some people you might take a couple looks at it before you can find out exactly what's going on. But I think if you pretty much look at Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance as kind of a Scientologist, L. Ron Hubbard person, then I think you can kind of get some of the stuff going for you in it. I mean, if you've never seen it, I know I'm being kind of silly by I'm not trying to sell you these movies, but to understand Paul Thomas Anderson's direction, sometimes he takes some time with certain characters to let them kind of unfold on you. And then when they finally unfold, it's just like getting hit with a hammer or something, is really what I like. So yeah, The Master. Let's move on to the next one, and this one is Inherent Vice. This is starring Joaquin Phoenix. It's got Josh Brolin, Owen Wilson, Reese Witherspoon. It's got Benicio del Toro, Jenna Malone. It's got a little small part by his wife, Maya Rudolph, and it's got Martin Short in it. And it's based on a book. What's the book called? It's a book by Thomas Pynchon, he's kind of a reclusive writer and stuff, and he wrote this story with Paul Thomas Anderson, and it's an interesting movie. I mean, it's based on the book. He was trying to be faithful to it and stuff. So I won't go into details and try to sell you all these movies, but it's a good movie. I probably I think I might watch this again. I haven't watched this in a very long time. I bought this as a rental, and it doesn't really have anything extra on there. It's just, I don't even think there's anything, maybe a trailer. So I don't know, maybe if there's a 2-disc with some extras, I'll rebuy this, but this is just a rental copy. And finally, this is one of his newest films, Phantom Thread, where he plays a guy that works in a house of cloth. He makes custom dresses and suits, and he's looked upon as a legendary designer. This takes place back in the 50s, and it kind of shows who this guy is, his relationship with his sister, family, and to this woman who comes into his life as someone to help work in his house of clothes. It's really good movie. It's a good drama. I believe it won a lot of awards that year that it came out in the Oscars and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty nice. He plays a guy named Reynolds Woodcock, and I think he kind of based him on a famous designer. I can't think of who it was. What's his name right off top? But yeah, Phantom Thread, another good movie. Highly recommend. So there you go, guys. There's some of the movies I have by P.T. Anderson. I think that's all his movies up to now. I might be missing one. I'll double check, but I think that's all his movies. So I'm someone who waits the next P.T. Anderson movie to come out. I kind of follow him like with uh, what's the other director? Wes Anderson. I, I guess he's one of my favorite modern day directors because he always his movies come out and he puts so much into them, so much detail into the way it looks or the characters or something. So Wes Anderson, you know, P.T. Anderson, uh, Wes Anderson, P.T. Anderson, um, Martin Scorsese, uh, Brian De Palma are probably my top four favorite directors right now. I mean, that might change. I'm not really someone who plays favorites. I enjoy a lot of stuff, and it's hard for me to pick a favorite thing. You know, I'm one of those people that I'll think too hard about it. You know, so. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting the channel. Um, if you would leave some comments, what you think about P.T. Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, and give me a like. Until next time, I'm Mike, and I will see you later to show you more of the collection. Later.